So is it finally happening, DML? Is this a new element? Is this a new element? I think that is the big question on everyone's minds. So, DML finally posted this about 2 hours ago. I don't know why they'd release it at 7 AM, but anyway, they posted this image that says, "Is this a new element? But what could it mean?" Shocked face. Confused face. And then there's this huge picture here with this like purple outlined and purple sort of coloured, or purpley pinkish coloured, I don't know, there's just this weird symbol in the centre. And there's this symbol here, and behind it we can see that there are constellations, and it is in the sky. The thing is, are we going to look into the backgrounds as well? Because last time I did that, the background was completely unrelated to the main picture, so I don't know. I feel like they're 700 IQing it, and now I can't believe anything that I'm being shown here, but they said, is this a new element? So that's making me think that maybe it's not. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this 700 IQ sort of stuff. Like, is it? But maybe it's not. But is it a new element? But maybe it's not. The thing is, with this new element here, obviously we can't say for 100% certainty right now that it is, but it more than likely is. I mean, if we take a look at the old divine element, then you'll see that the difference with the divine element was the fact that it had some weird sun at the top sort of shining down. That's sort of the way that I see the element. But the thing to note is that this element, when it came out, the bordering is like a purpley pinkish, whereas the regular elements in DML, they're all white bordered. And this here, this symbol is also a sort of purplish pinkish, so this would signify that if it was an element, that this is probably going to be more powerful than the base elements, or along the same theme as the actual divine element itself. So, if anything, I'd probably expect us to see either exception dragons or, you know, higher stat dragons than a regular element dragon would be. But you've also got to remember that in the Afterlife Adventure Divine event that we had not long ago, there was talk about proto dragons. Is this going to be the proto element? I don't know if it would make sense because we've had chrono dragons and they didn't have their own individual element. But if we read through the very end of the event dialogue for Afterlife Adventure, they said, "Oh yeah, I think space-time is in for a rude awakening. Remember the prophecies you found at the Golden Pyramid? I found one that's different. Since time began, its wicked term, primordial fires burn and burn. If chrono dragons raise concern, the proto-dragons soon return. Burning fires, proto-dragons? What in Dragonlandia does that mean? We'd better get everyone out of this rift and warn Professor Hogwin." So there was definitely talk about the proto-dragons. We've known that these proto-dragons have been due to be coming out for like a month now, or a month and a half. So we know that proto-dragons are coming to the game. I think the main question is this the symbol that the proto-dragons are going to take on, or is this a different element altogether that maybe the proto-dragons are going to take advantage of? That is the main question that I have. I think it definitely is an element to me, but obviously I'm not going to claim it until we're 100% sure, but with this being in the sky, you know, people have been having their own guesstimates and things like that. It could be some sort of space element, it could be a space-time element. Another thing to consider is it could be a chaos element, because the divine element is sort of like a godly thing with the light shining down on the earth, but this one does, you know, it does creep you out a little bit. Almost looks like some weird spider if you flip it upside down, so perhaps this could be some sort of chaos element. At the end of the day, right now we don't know, and they're just using this to, you know, spark some fun, spark some talk around everything. I mean, if you want to read through some of the other things that people are saying, obviously you can go through the Gameloft forums, see some of the things that people are talking about. You can go through on Facebook and see all the comments that people have been, you know, see what people have been guessing. But people say it could be proto, magic element. Oh my god, proto, mythic element? The thing is, a lot of the elements that people are talking about are the same elements that Dragon City has, and I really hope that we don't have the same elements that Dragon City has, because that would really disappoint me. At least be something original with the naming convention, please. Whatever it is. But regardless, we've got to remember with new elements. Big problem is, last time that the divine element came out, every single dragon had higher base stats, and then we got exception divines on top of that, which made legendaries pretty bad. So the main concern with this element coming out is that if this ends up being better than divine, then everyone's wasted all of their money on loot box divines, which I would find absolutely hilarious, but I'm sure the people that did wouldn't. So this could completely change how every single team composition is put together again, or they could make it equal to divine, which would still make legendary dragons pretty trash, but it would give us some sort of variety on what the air quote best teams in the game are. I'm hoping for something closer to that. If anything, I just wish that all divines would be made slightly worse, and then put a new element in that's sort of the same as all the others. But what elements are going to be weak and what elements are going to be strong if this is implemented? Your guess is as good as mine, because I mean, the divine, it had interactions with shadow and light, as in being strong and light to strong and weak to specific elements that already exist. Maybe this one's going to interact with some of the other elements as well. Again, at the end of the day, we need more information before we can make a proper analysis on what this could mean, but you know, for now everyone's in a panic and doesn't know what to think, so I guess they'll probably give us some more information soon, but not quite yet. But either way, let me know what you think. I think that this is probably going to be some sort of variant that the Proto Dragons are going to take advantage of. Even if it's not called the Proto element, it might be something related to the dragons that are going to be coming out. Some sort of space-time thing. That's my guess. That's my guess. I don't know. I'm guesstimating here. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Again, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'm curious to see what you think, and maybe you've seen something that I didn't. Maybe you've worked out, you've cracked the code. Perhaps you have. But anyway, for now, have fun guessing.